Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the channel. Happy Saturday, everybody. Hope your day and your weekend have been going very well so far. Got a new day, which of course means a new NBA player prop video to share with you guys. But first, as always, people, please make sure to go ahead and hit the subscribe button, hit that like button, and drop a comment down below. It helps the channel grow, and it really does mean a ton to us. With a new day comes some new opportunities to go ahead and make some money. A little bit of a shorter NBA slate tonight, only 5 games on. I have 3 NBA player props to go ahead and share with you guys in today's NBA slate. But first, before we dive into today's picks, a quick little recap of how we did last night. And spoiler alert, you guys are going to be impressed. Jumping on over to GuyBostonSports.com with a little recap screen here. And that's right, guys, we cashed our Freaky Friday 5-leg parlay, plus 598 odds. Was a great cash. We've been on a really good run here with the NBA, which obviously is pretty solid because you look at how we've been doing with baseball to start the year, the complete polar opposite. So I guess the bright side of sucking ass in baseball so far this year is the fact that we are red hot right now in the NBA, plus 598 odds, never a doubt. All of them pretty consistent cashes too. None of them were really all that close. But yeah, guys, always a great night when we can go ahead and cash a Freaky Friday 5-leg parlay. Looking down below at our records this year, guys, combining single bets and parlay bets, we are up over 30.5 units profit so far this year. So needless to say, we're having a really, really solid season, a really great run here in the NBA. And I couldn't be happier to go ahead and share that with you guys. And I truly mean that. I'm not just saying that to gaslight you guys or gas you up or make it sound like I'm some, great guy. But I genuinely love to see other people benefiting from the picks I give out. It makes me happier than myself cashing the picks is to see other people making money and cashing off of these picks. So congratulations to all you guys who did tail yesterday. And if you guys have been watching my videos for a long time, you know there was no way I could come into today's video without bringing out this bad boy, the money gun. Hopefully I don't get fined the same way that John Morant just got fined for the finger guns. Let's go, baby. Money gun. Plus 598 parlay. We cashed that sucker. 3 player props coming your way right now, baby. Let's keep making money. This is what we've been doing all week long, guys. Just cashing, baby. Let's keep making money. 3-0 sweep. I feel a sweep coming on. Go ahead and comment sweep down below if you think we can do it again today. 3 player props coming your way right now. All right, guys. That was a little aggressive, I'll be honest. Jumping into the outlier screen, our first player prop in today's slate, and just to clarify, these are all single bet player props. Our first player prop in today's slate comes from the Knicks-Hawks game. 3 p.m. tip-off. We got Mikal Bridges of the New York Knicks over 23.5 points plus rebounds plus assists, which we're getting for minus 118 over on BetMGM. It is available on multiple sportsbooks for varying odds. As always, guys, make sure to go ahead and shop around for the best sportsbook odds available. All right, guys, and the data across the board is pretty solid on this player prop. You do see that 7 of his last 10 games, he's cashed the over. It's a 70% hit rate, averaging 27.8 points plus rebounds plus assists per game over his last 10 games. Some pretty good numbers here, although the last 2 games out versus Philly and versus Cleveland, the numbers have been a little bit lower for him. Overall, not a bad spot for Mikal Bridges. You do go ahead and stretch the data out to the entire season view. Still pretty solid, a 55% hit rate on the year for Mikal Bridges. 42 out of 76 games he's cashed the over, averaging 24.66 points plus rebounds plus assists per game overall this season. And on top of having good overall data here for Mikal Bridges, we've also got a pretty good matchup here. Now, Atlanta, obviously, they are a play-in team, but they are one of the bottom teams in the Eastern Conference, bottom half of the Eastern Conference, I should say. Overall, 27th in points allowed, 14th in rebounds, and 24th in assists to teams defensively. Mikal Bridges, who's listed as a small forward, but he does play a lot of minutes as their shooting guard. Versus shooting guards this year, Atlanta, 27th in points allowed, 20th in rebounds, and 27th in assists. And honestly, if you narrow that down to the last 15 games, they're still bottom half of the league in most of those categories. So they've been pretty consistently bad all year long. Versus small forwards, again, made Josh Hart mainly play small forward. But even if Mikal Bridges does play some minutes at the 3, 29th in points, 23rd in rebounds, 26th in assists. So either way, it seems to be a pretty good defensive matchup here for Mikal Bridges. And looking at the head-to-head numbers, they're pretty solid overall. He's cashed this line in 6 of his last 8 games against Atlanta. That's a 75% hit rate, averaging 33.13 PRAs per game across those last 8 matchups with Atlanta. Now, they played 4 times this year already, partially because of the play-in tournament, or just doing the NBA Cup midseason tournament. They got to play a little bit extra, but they played 4 times this year. He's cashed the over in 2 of those 4 games. They 50% hit rate this year. Not as impressive as his 4-0 mark last year as a member of the Brooklyn Nets, but still not too bad. I think one of the big things here, obviously, is who's playing. Obviously, there's news that Jalen Brunson is a game time decision. He did practice yesterday. There's potential he could come back today, but he's still listed as a game time decision. Right now, from what I'm reading, I'm leaning to him probably not playing tonight, maybe their next game. But even if he does play, I still like this line for Bridges because if Brunson does come back, he's going to be on a minutes restriction. I just think it's a pretty good matchup here for Bridges overall. And you know with the Knicks, you know they're going to play a lot of minutes. That's the Tom Thibodeau way. He's averaging 37.2 minutes over his last 8 matchups against Atlanta. But if we go ahead and look at the last 5 games, in which Mikal Bridges has cashed in 3 of the last 5, he's still averaging about 37.9 minutes per game over the last 5 games. And last but not least, we have the insights provided by Outlier. Shout out to Outlier, the sponsor of today's video and all my NBA player prop videos here on the channel. We do offer a special link down below in the description that gives you guys a 7-day free trial to go ahead and check it out for yourself. I'm telling you guys, it is the best sports betting tool that money can buy, and you can check it out for 7 days free. So don't miss out on that opportunity. Go ahead and check the link down below in the description to get full access to everything that you see here on the Outlier screen. But the insights provided by Outlier, Mikal Bridges has exceeded 23.5 points plus rebounds plus assists in 11 of his last 14 games. It's a 79% hit rate over his last 14 games, and he's averaging 28.86 PRAs per game over his last 14 games. So some pretty solid data across the board here for Mikal Bridges. Pretty decent matchup. I like the spot here. That's our first player prop in today's slate. All right, guys, our second player prop in today's slate comes from the Timberwolves-Sixers game, 7 p.m. tip-off. We're going Dante DiVincenzo of the Minnesota Timberwolves over 18.5 points plus rebounds plus assists. We're getting this one for -105 over on BetMGM, but again, it is available on multiple sports books for varying odds. And kind of similar to the last player prop, the recent data is pretty good. The overall data is solid. DiVincenzo, 7 of his last 10 games, he's cashed the over. That's a 70% hit rate, averaging 18.3 PRAs per game over his last 10 games. Actually, scarily similar to the Mikal Bridges prop. Pretty good numbers in the last 2 games, some pretty low performances. Now, obviously, this Pistons game, he got ejected from that game. That was the whole fight with Naz Reid stuff. And then his first game back from suspension, he just didn't have a great effort there versus Brooklyn. Bad shooting night. But if we go ahead and stretch the data out to the last 20 games, the numbers are pretty decent. 80% hit rate over his last 20, averaging 22.45 PRAs per game over his last 20 games. And so far this year overall, 53% hit rate, 30 out of 57 games he's cashed the over, averaging 18.89 PRAs per game overall this year. And you do see a lot of red in the earlier part of the season, but of late, a lot more green on this line for DiVincenzo. Now, from a head-to-head perspective dating back to last year, including playoffs with the New York Knicks, a 64% hit rate against Philadelphia, 7 of their last 11 matchups, again, dating back to last year, the Knicks, and including the playoffs, 64% hit rate, averaging 20 PRAs per game over those last 11 matchups. Now, he's only played them once this year as a member of the Timberwolves back on March 4th, about a month ago. He had 12 points, 2 rebounds, and 8 assists in what was a 14-point win for Minnesota. And look at the right side of the screen here, the defensive data for Philly. Obviously, this team is in shambles. Actually, let's go ahead and show you first the injuries. No Drummond, no Embiid, no George. Maxi's done. McCain obviously done. Kyle Lowry, Eric Gordon. I mean, it's a laundry list. Kelly Oubre's out. A lot of injuries. This team is literally a G League squad at this point. And overall, 21st in points, 24th in rebounds, 25th in assists. Versus shooting guards, they rank a little bit better, but if we do go ahead and narrow it down to the last 7 games, it's not that great. The big problem here is because Philadelphia, obviously, they have nothing to play for, and everybody's out for them. This game should be a blowout, but I say should be. It should be a blowout. I mean, I could say potentially, but let's be honest here. If Minnesota is actually trying, they should beat the brakes off the Sixers here. So with that in mind, I think taking somebody like an Edwards, like a Randall, like a Gobert, like a Conley, those guys may not play a lot of minutes, but DiVincenzo is a bench player. I just think in a matchup like this, you could see DiVincenzo play a lot more minutes than he normally does. They might be able to give him more minutes than, let's say, someone like Anthony Edwards. They might take this opportunity to rest Edwards and give DiVincenzo more shot attempts, more playing time. I think it's a pretty good matchup overall. And one last stat, the insights provided by Outlier, Dante DiVincenzo has exceeded 18.5 points plus rebounds plus assists in 15 of his last 18 games. He's averaging 21.61 PRAs per game over his last 18 games. That's an 83% hit rate. So really, really good numbers. He was on like let's see what this is, a 13 consecutive game cash streak before he missed it versus New Orleans, and then again immediately cashed it 2 more times. Those are pretty good data here, pretty good matchup. The biggest risk is how many minutes is he going to play, but I don't think, I think he's going to get a healthy amount of minutes, but honestly, with the matchup at hand, I don't think he even needs to play like 30 plus minutes in order to cash this line. I think 25 minutes is all he really needs, and I think he's going to get that in this game. So pretty solid player prop. That's our second pick in today's slate. And our third and final player prop in today's video comes from the Bucks Heat game, 8 p.m. tip-off. We got Tyler Hero of the Miami Heat over 35.5 points plus rebounds plus assists, which we're getting again from minus 105 odds over on BetMGM, available on multiple sports books for varying odds. So pretty good value on a lot of these picks today. Now, unlike the last 2 player props, the overall numbers and the head-to-head numbers are okay, but the recent numbers are actually really, really solid. So you do see, again, another one, 3 straight player props, where he's cashed this in 7 of his last 10 games, of course being a 70% hit rate. He's averaging 35.1 PRAs per game over his last 10 games. But obviously, we go ahead and narrow the data down even further here for Tyler Hero. Last 5 games with 100% hit rate, he's cashed it in 5 straight. He's averaging a whopping 41.6 PRAs per game over his last 5 games, coming off a really impressive performance versus Memphis their last time out, 35 points, 9 rebounds, and 4 assists in that one. Now, if you do go ahead and stretch the data out to the entire season view, like I said, not as impressive. A 47% hit rate on the year for Tyler Hero. 35 out of 74 games he's cashed the over, averaging 34.7 PRAs per game overall this year. Now, the line is slightly elevated due to matchup and circumstance, but even with the elevated line, his numbers are not that awful. A 47% hit rate, although it's still in the negative, it's still in the red. He's still cashing at a healthy amount this year. Now, looking at the head-to-head data, like I said, also not great. Just 2 of his last 5 matchups against Milwaukee, he's cashed the over. Just a 40% hit rate, but he is averaging 38.4 PRAs per game over those last 5 matchups. They played 3 times this year. He's only cashed the over in 1 of those 3, but that last game they played back on February 23rd, the one cashed this year, he went nuclear. 40 points, 7 rebounds, and 11 assists, and what was still a 7-point loss for Miami. And honestly, he left a lot more opportunity on the table, right? 12 for 27, shot just 44% from the floor, played 40 minutes in that game, but he could have done even more in that spot. Look at the rebound chance. He had, I think, 7 rebounds, so pretty close, but potential assists, 12. I mean, there were more opportunities for him to put up more numbers, specifically from a scoring standpoint. And even look at some of the earlier ones this year. I mean, back on January 23rd, a month earlier, I mean, 21 points, 3 rebounds, 9 assists. He just missed it by 3. So he's been close to that line in the last 2 matchups. Again, still red, which is still not great. But obviously, the fact that he went nuclear the last time they played gives us hope here that he can go ahead and do something at least close to that. Again, we don't need him to do 58 points, rebounds, assists. All we need is 36. So he can do 20 less than what he did last time, and that still gives us a cash. Now, look at the right side of the screen here, the defensive stats here for Milwaukee. Now, versus shooting guards this year, they actually ranked pretty decent, 7th in points allowed, which is top 10 in the NBA overall. Rebounds and assists, they both rank bottom half the league, 24th in rebounds, 19th in assists. So pretty good matchup there. From the scoring perspective, though, they do rank pretty well this year. Tyler Hero does play some point guard as well, 30th in points, 30th in rebounds, 19th in assists. So that's a good matchup. However, we do go ahead and narrow this down to the last 7 games. Milwaukee is bottom 10 in the NBA in both points allowed and assists allowed to the shooting guard position. So, yes, their overall numbers are not as bad, but the recent data seems to suggest that shooting guards can go ahead and have a field day when playing Milwaukee. And if you look down below, these are the points, rebounds, assists results against Milwaukee. The most recent one, Quentin Grimes for the Sixers. He had 37 PRAs against Milwaukee. Quentin Grimes did that, although he's been playing pretty well lately. Grayson Allen had 30 PRAs off the bench against Milwaukee. Devin Booker had 53. He went nuclear in that one. But go back, I mean, Dyson Daniels went off. We're seeing some lower tier players have big performances against the Bucks. Landry Shamet cashed his line. We keep going here. Christian Braun cashed his line with massive numbers. Keon Ellis, who had an over 10.5 line, he cashed it. Okay, minus 700. Maybe not as impressive. But you get the point of the story, right? Even Devin Booker right here, he missed it by 1. Shooting guards have been going off, and they've been cashing this line pretty consistently. And if they do miss it, they just barely miss it. Like Jared Butler here, who, by the way, is a bench player. 20.5, he finished with 19. So pretty good numbers across the board here for shooting guards versus Milwaukee. Tyler Hero, obviously one of the higher-end all-star shooting guards. So I think we got a pretty good matchup on our hands here, guys. It's our third and final player prop in today's NBA slate. So, guys, that is it for me today. Thank you very much, as always, for watching. One more time, please make sure to go ahead and hit the subscribe button, hit that like button, and drop a comment down below. Obviously, Sundays, we do not do videos here on the channel. That's my day off. It's my break. Also, my grandmother's memorial service is tomorrow. We have her memorial service tomorrow, so a little bit of an emotional day. So just another reason why we aren't doing a video tomorrow. Although, even if we didn't have my memorial service, I still don't do videos on Sunday. So we'll be back on Monday with another NBA player prop video. We'll also be back with our MLB player prop videos on Monday. But until then, guys, I hope you're all winners. Have a great weekend, and let's go ahead and make some of this. Let's go ahead and make some money, baby. Let's go 3-0. Comment sweep down below. I think we're going 3-0 today. What do you guys think? The money's raining in, baby. Let's keep making it.